Good day, sir. Good day, classmates. Once again, I'm General D.R. Francisco, and this is the continuation of the report under Administering Questionnaires. So, we have ethics in data collection. So several ethical issues should be addressed while collecting primary data. As previously noted, these pertain to those who sponsor the research, those who collect the data, and those who offer them. The sponsor should ask for the study to be done to do better the purpose of the organization and not for any other self-serving reason. So they should have an open mind in accepting the results and recommendations in the report presented by the researchers. So here, they should respect the confidentiality of the data that was obtained by the researcher, and of course, not to ask for the individual or group members or a group that responses to be disclosed to them or asked to see the, for example, the questionnaires. Next, we have the ethics and the researcher. First, we have the treating the information given by the respondent are strictly confidential and guarding his or her privacy is one of the primary responsibilities of the researcher. If the vice president or some other top executive wishes to take a look at the completed questionnaires, the obligatory need to preserve the confidentiality of the documents should then be pointed out. So here, they should be reminded that prior understanding to this had already been reached with them, of course, before starting the survey. And also, data of for a subgroup or let's say less than 10 individuals should be dealt with tactfully to preserve the confidentiality of the group members. The data can be combined with others or treated in another identifiable matter. So here, it is difficult to sanitize the reports to protect sources and still preserve the richness of detail of the study. An acceptable alternative has to be found since preserving confidentiality is of course, the fundamental goal. Next, the personal seemingly intrusive information should be solicited, and if it is absolutely necessary for the project, it should be tapped with high sensitivity to the respondent, offering specific reasons. Three, whatever the nature of the data collection method, the self esteem and the self respect of the subjects should never be or never be violated. Four, no one should be forced to respond to the survey, and if someone does not want to avail themselves of the opportunity to participate, the individual's desire should be respected. Informed consent of the subjects should be the goal of the researcher. This holds true even when data are collected through mechanical means such as recording interviews, videotaping, and the like. Fifth, we have non-participant observers should be as unintrusive as possible. In qualitative studies, personal values could easily bias the data. It is necessary for the researcher to make explicit his or her assumptions, expectations, and biases so that informed decisions regarding the quality of the data can be made by the manager. Sixth, posting invitations to participate in a survey on social networks, discussion groups, and chat rooms is often perceived as spam. Make sure that you are familiar with and that you act in accordance with and the anti-spam legislation and guidelines. And lastly, seven, there should be absolutely no misrepresentation or distortion in reporting the data collected during the study. So here are the examples. First, we have minimizing the risk of harm. So here, it is necessary to minimize any sort of harm to the participants. So there are a number of forms of the harm participants that we can expose that they are, example, bodily harm to contributors. Next, psychological agony and embarrassment. Next, we have the social drawback. Another example is that violation of participants' confidentiality and privacy. So in order to minimize that risk of harm, so the data or the data collector or the researcher should obtain informed consent again from the participants. Next, of course, participating anonymity and confidentiality to the participants. Next, we have avoiding the misleading practices when planning the research, and of course, providing participants with the right to withdraw. Next, we have the obtaining informed consent. So, one of the fundamentals of the research ethics is the notion of informed consent. So, informed consent means the person knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently gives consent to participate in a research. So, here, it should be well informed about, of course, first, the introduction and the objective of the research. Next example is the purpose of the discussion. Next, the anticipated advantages, just like the benefits or the harm from the research, or if there are any. So the use of the research and of course their role in the research. The third is that protecting anonymity and confidentiality. So protecting of the research participants is an additionally applied constituent of our research ethics. So what is protecting anonymity? So it means keeping the participant anonymous. So secret, no? It involves not revealing the name, other information about the participants that may reveal his or her identity. So, kumbaga, secret lang. The protecting confidentiality is that it refers to ensuring that the information given by the participant are confidential and not shared with anyone except the research team, of course. It is also about keeping the information secretly from other people. So fourth, we have the avoiding misleading practices. So here, the researcher should avoid all the deceptive and misleading practices that might misinform the respondent. So it is also includes avoiding all the activities like communicating wrong messages, giving false assurances, and of course, giving false information. Next, we have providing the right to withdraw. So here, the participants have to or have the right to withdraw at any point of the research. And then, of course, when the respondent decides on to withdraw from the research, they should not be stressed or forced in any manner to try to discontinue them with or from withdrawing. Next, we have the ethical behavior of respondents. First, the subject, once having exercised the choice to participate in the study, should cooperate or fully in the tasks ahead, such as responding to a survey. Next, the respondent also has an obligation to be truthful and honest in the responses. Misrepresentation or giving information, knowing it to be untrue, should be avoided. So here, the survey respondents should be informed of risk and must voluntarily consent to participating. For example, ensuring respondent privacy and confidentiality can help build their trust with your respondents. So, informed consent can also entail what data is being collected, stored, or used. And that's all for my report. Thank you.